Welcome to Creator Hardware, where we talk about the equipment and software for making online content. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. This video, we're going to talk about a YouTuber's trip through 3 editing computers. Now, when I first started my other channel, I made a lot of mistakes. Part of the reason why I'm starting this channel is hopefully you won't make some of those mistakes. Did not use my cell phone as a camera for various reasons. I got a GoPro. Now, a GoPro is a great camera if you're outside doing action shots. For talking head type videos, well, it sucks. That's not what the topic of the video is about. I first tried editing those videos on a old Dell, e-machine, just basic laptop for web surfing, email, stuff like that, and it went horribly. I tried a bunch of free programs on it. I couldn't get any of them to work, and it just turned to a nightmare. So I stepped up in a couple different ways. I got a new camera and I got a Asus gaming laptop. Now, a gaming laptop might seem like a great idea, and it handled the footage okay because I had switched to filming in 4K, but the problem I had with editing on a laptop was heat. My render times were horrendous. This laptop would hit 95C on a Adobe Premiere render of 4K, so my render times, well, sucked. It would take me double the runtime of the video to render it out. My workflow was horrendous. When you're rendering a video, there's nothing you can do on that computer that would work. Now, I bought that laptop because when I went to Best Buy, my local Best Buy, which sucks, they had no gaming desktops. None in stock. Like, literally could not buy a single gaming desktop. Their gaming laptop department only had a handful. So, being impatient, I went ahead and bought the laptop thinking that would do me fine. Well, it didn't. It cost me, it's a great laptop. If you want to game on it, I'm sure it'd do great. I've never actually gamed on it, but it's less than ideal for the situation I have. I batch film my videos and I batch edit them. I film them in one day, I edit them in one day. Currently. Back then, it took me the entire weekend because I wasn't as good at editing and I had horrendous render times. So after a good long time of working with that, I decided to step up. Sorry about the glare. I'll move the camera back in a second. I went ahead and bought a custom-built gaming PC / editing PC from NZXT, their BLD series, which allowed me to get a gaming computer which is also really good at editing on Premiere Pro, and it cut my render times considerably. Now, that computer had originally as spec an i7 7700K, 32 gigabytes of RAM, and a 2080 gaming GPU from EVGA. Vastly improved my render times, allowed me to actually improve my workflow. Scrubbing was better, and a huge upgrade. But my point of this video is I wasted $1,400 on that laptop. It was only a stopgap because it just could not handle the heat. Now, that computer is an AIO cooled, all-in-one cooler, basically a coolant system that cools the CPU. When you render a video, the CPU is pegged usually at about 100%. Now, since then, I've upgraded the CPU to a 9900K overclocked to 5 gigahertz all cores, and it just slams through my render times in 4K. No raw or anything like that, but it kills it. Understanding that I was starting a new channel and I wanted a step up from that. So I built this system myself. Now this system is way overkill for most content creators. You know, you're gonna be doing at the most 4K. If you're doing 8K, you know, I'm not Linus Media Group, so I'm not doing 8K. But it is a AMD 3950X, 16 core, 32 thread, beast of a CPU, 2080 Super, and 64 gigabytes of RAM. Now, the reason I built this system was I wanted, one, to be able to use After Effects. After Effects uses a lot of RAM and a lot of CPU compute power. Wanted to learn After Effects. I still suck at it, but that system struggled with After Effects because of, I could have upgraded it, but I decided a newer system, more cores, would have worked better for After Effects. Now, the old system, I tried using After Effects when I had the i7 in it, and it struggled. It struggled a lot. So I decided, let's just go ahead and build something new. So this is a full water-cooled loop from Corsair. It's got a Corsair radiator and all that kind of stuff. Very custom, and there's a reason it's in that case, but I'll leave that for cases from Be Quiet. Love the case, love the look of it. Not the ideal case for high heat output computer, but it does fine. My point of this video is when you're speccing a computer to edit videos for your YouTube channel or streaming on Twitch, the short-term monetary restrictions can really bite you later on. That system should have been my first system, not my second system. I should have never gotten the laptop. I should have bought that system first. I should have equipped it with a 9900K to begin with. I should have equipped it with 64 gigabits of RAM for long-term goals. And I probably should have put a 2080 Ti in it, but I didn't, so probably should have done that as well, which have greatly increased the costs of it. But that's my point, is when you're looking at building or buying a computer for content creation, understand that you're gonna hit limitations of your equipment faster than you think you will. When you start working with it, you start working with programs like After Effects, or you're rendering, you know, 4K video shot in RAW, adding a LUT, transitions, it can hammer a lesser CPU than the stuff I've got. If you're looking at computers, it really comes down to getting the most you can, because it really quickly becomes evident how limited you become. When you're scrubbing through 4K footage and it's choppy and it's not scrolling. Keep in mind, just a side note, I don't put any of my files in proxy. I natively edit in 4K. Why? I don't want to have to do proxies in my workflow. I want my workflow to be very steady and smooth, and I don't want to have another step. I already processed my audio, I already, you know, color correct to some extent, all that stuff. I don't need more time. I don't need more effort in making my videos. So I wanted a system that could scrub through 4K without problem. Now on the Mac side of it, I'm not a Mac guy. So if you want to use Final Cut Pro, they do a lot of pre-renders and stuff like that. So I look at more Mac-centric creators for that, because I really don't have enough experience using Mac computers to edit videos, i.e. zero. So I really can't answer how well those do on what kind of hardware and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to add Mac to my workflow and give you better opinions on it. But right now, I can't give you much on it. So don't forget, hit record, hit upload. As always, thanks for watching. This is Creator Hardware.